What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big Papa JT coming at you with this video. And before I begin, make sure to hit the like button and please subscribe. When you subscribe, it gets me one subscriber closer to reaching my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to hit that mark before the end of this month. So please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And let's get into the video. So today's video is, can Kentucky win the SEC East and make it to the SEC championship game? So looking at the Kentucky Wildcats, they have taken college football by storm. They're currently 5-0, and no, this isn't basketball, this is football, and this team is actually pretty good. So looking at the offense and defense rankings, on offense they rank 71st and total yards per game, with averaging 407.2 offensive yards per game. They're 117th passing the ball, which is expected because they run the ball so many times. They have 153 passing yards per game. They're 12th in the country in rushing the ball with 254.2 rushing yards per game. And they're 56th in the country in points per game with 32.4. Now, this defense is the biggest surprise. Now, this defense is very, very good. They only give up 288.8 offensive yards per game, which is anytime you're giving up less than 300 yards per game in college football, that's a sign of eliteness, and that also makes them 12th in the country. The 29th in passing yards per game, allowing 177.4. They allow 111.4 rushing yards per game, which is 26th in the country, and they're 4th in the nation in points per game allowed with 12.6. Now, a big reason for the Kentucky Wildcats' success on defense is their two outstanding linebackers. You have senior Jordan Jones, the inside linebacker, and you have outside linebacker, and basically a lot for the first round of the 2019 NFL draft, Josh Allen. Now, Jordan Jones is having a pretty good season. He has 29 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, and a half of a sack. He also has 4 passes defensed or deflected, and he has 1 forced fumble with a fumble recovery, which he had that during the South Carolina game. Now, Josh Allen, on the other hand, this monster, this behemoth, has 33 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. Now, he got 3 of those sacks against South Carolina. This dude is an absolute freak on defense, and these two are a large reason why the Kentucky defense is so good, especially in stopping the run. Now, he also has 2 passes deflected or defensed, and he has 3 forced fumbles. So this guy is an absolute machine. Now, this guy, Josh Allen, reminds me a lot of how Khalil Mack was in college. Very disruptive, very hard to block, and you can tell, like, this guy has 10.5 tackles for loss and 6 sacks. You cannot stop this guy. This guy is an absolute machine, and Jordan Jones is a machine in his own right. He plays inside linebacker, so he doesn't really have a lot of sacks because he always spends so many times stopping the running back. Now, we can't just single-handedly give the Kentucky defense all the credit. We have to give a lot of the credit to the only non-quarterback player on the Heisman watch list, and Kenny, who wants to finish his name, Kenny Snell Jr., the running back from the University of Kentucky, is the only non-quarterback on the Heisman watch list as of right now. He's third in the nation in total rushing yards with 540. He's third in rushing yards per game with 135 rushing yards per game. He's 5th in the country in rushing touchdowns with 7. He's 31st in the country in yards per carry, averaging 6.21 yards per carry. And he's also the only non-quarterback on the Heisman watch list. Now, can Kentucky win out until they play Georgia? This is going to be the game when they play Georgia. So their next 5 opponents, they play Texas A&M at Texas A&M, which could be a tricky road game. But even if they lose this game, they can still win the SEC East if they beat Georgia. They can slip up against one of these teams as long as they beat Georgia. They're fine. So they play Texas A&M at Texas A&M. That's going to be a pretty difficult game for them. Are they going to be able to stop this Texas A&M offense, which is pretty good? Now they got to play Vanderbilt, which is very improved, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They have to play Drew Lock in Missouri. That's always a challenge. That Drew Lock offense is pretty explosive. And then you get the juggernaut that is Georgia, but it's at home. So I'm guessing that home game is going to be pretty loud. It's going to be a hostile environment. And then they go on the road and play Tennessee. So all of these, they can win 4 of these games, all winnable besides the Georgia game. That's going to be a tough challenge. I'm looking forward to that game. That game is just around the corner. And let me know what you guys think about this Kentucky Wildcats team. Can they win the SEC East and make it to the SEC Championship? Make sure to like the video, comment your opinion, and subscribe.